Welcome to Shadow Speak, where we delve deep into stories and ideas that challenge the way we see the world. Today, we explore something powerful, yet often misunderstood at the youth. Specifically, the rising wave of student protests in Bangladesh, led by none other than Gen Z, the generation at the forefront of global change. But what drives them? And how do their actions resonate with the philosophies of freedom, justice, and human rights? Since early 2024, Bangladesh has seen a remarkable surge in youth-led protests. These protests are not just a response to the current political situation but an assertion of their existence, their hopes, and their right to a better future. But what makes this generation, Gen Z, so different from others? Gen Z, born into a world where technology intertwines with every aspect of life, has grown up with a heightened awareness of social justice. They've watched movements like Hush Me Too, Black Lives Matter, and climate change protests unfold in real time. They are not just observers, they are participants, even leaders. In Bangladesh, their protests against governmental oppression and corruption echo similar youth-led uprisings across the world. But why now? Why is it this generation, in particular, that feels compelled to act? To understand the mindset of these students, we can look to philosophy. Jean-Paul Sartre, a proponent of existentialism, believed that human beings are condemned to be free. That is, every person must confront the reality that they alone are responsible for their choices, their actions, and the future they shape. For these students, protest is an act of existential freedom, a choice to fight for justice even in the face of overwhelming odds. Frantz Fanon, who studied the psychology of colonization, would argue that these protests are a form of decolonization, a fight not just against an oppressive regime, but against systems designed to suppress identity and autonomy. The youth of Bangladesh are not just fighting for political change, they are fighting to reclaim their voice, their culture, and their future. Emile Durkheim's concept of collective consciousness is at play here. The youth of Bangladesh, like so many before them, are united by a shared experience of injustice and a collective desire for change. This generation is digitally connected, but their real strength comes from their ability to translate online discontent into offline action. In this age of hyperconnectivity, they harness the power of social media to organize, mobilize, and spread their message beyond borders. But protest is never without its ethical dilemmas. Is violence ever justified in the pursuit of justice? The philosopher Hannah Arendt argued that while violence can bring about immediate change, it often leaves deep scars on both the individual and society. The students of Bangladesh find themselves at a crossroads. Should they continue peaceful protests or resort to more forceful means in the face of government crackdowns? Despite the ethical questions, Gen Z remains committed to their cause, driven by a deep-seated belief in the power of hope and action. As Simone de Beauvoir once said, the present is not a potential past, it is the moment of choice and action. This generation understands that they hold the key to shaping the future, not just for themselves but for the generations to come. In Bangladesh, these students are not just fighting for democracy, they are fighting for the right to dream, to learn, and to live in a world where their voices are heard. So what does the future hold for Bangladesh? The student protests may be just the beginning of a larger movement toward lasting change. The philosopher Antonio Gramsci spoke of the pessimism of the intellect and optimism of the will, a balance between recognizing the difficulties ahead and still choosing to act. Gen Z in Bangladesh embodies this spirit. They are realistic about the challenges but remain hopeful about the possibilities. Will they succeed in reshaping their nation? Only time will tell. But one thing is clear, their actions today will echo through history. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the minds and hearts of Gen Z protesters in Bangladesh. At Shadow Speak, we believe in the power of ideas to transform the world. If you found this discussion thought-provoking, don't forget to subscribe and join us for more explorations into the philosophies that shape our lives.